Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, and I'm taking a drink. And yes, it has that pumpkin creamer I made in my video this week. It is so good. I've been seriously having it in every tea. Anyway, let's go see who has come in. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Good morning, Bev. Yes, you finally made it live. Good evening, I should say, to Annette, because I know when you're a part of the world, it is nighttime. Hello, Tina, Alana, and CRT. Good morning, all. Wow, 8 of you in here already this morning. How's everybody doing? Can you believe we're almost through October? We've been, I want to know, when does the slow season start? Because it has not happened here. It is still crazy busy. Grace's birthday is actually this coming Sunday, which kind of crept up on us. I'm ready for it, but I thought for some reason it was another week. Good morning, Jamie. Thank you for coming in. And my baby is 20 this year. This is it. I only have one teenager left in the house after this weekend. So it blows my mind that she's 20. Good morning, Tiffany. Thanks for coming in. And yes, it goes, yeah. I don't know if you mean the seasons or the kids growing, but yes to both. Oh, it's been a busy week already. The kids had dentist appointments early this week, actually first thing Monday, and we got good news. Aiden is over 2/3 of the way done. He's just now into the fine tuning, which, thank you, Jesus. We're almost done. Gracie still has a little while longer because she started later. She got hers about a year after Aiden got his. So she's a little behind on his, but yeah, no, it doesn't slow. There's always something to do. I mean, I guess I won't be canning every single day soon. Yeah, I'm still in canning mode. I have got to get through the rest of those apples this week. Actually, after my live today, I am making a new recipe, and I will be filming it. New to me anyway, that I hadn't heard of, and has to do with apples, so stay tuned for that. And I'm actually filming several videos today and tomorrow because I have to get one up for Friday. So I don't know if you all noticed, but good morning, Claudia. Thank you for coming in. I've decided to change my format up a little bit. For quite a while now, I've been doing videos Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and going live on Wednesdays. And then I'm like, why am I putting a video out on Wednesday when I go live on Wednesdays? So I've decided to change it up. And if you noticed, I put a video out yesterday, Tuesday. So now I'm going to be trying Sunday, Tuesdays, go live on Wednesdays, video on Friday. So I'm going to try that for a month and see how it does. I think it will work out better for me because I won't be scrambling trying to get a video up on Wednesday on top of doing a live. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So start looking for videos Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. So I am hanging grow lights in the greenhouse to extend my season. We don't have a greenhouse, and I'm not mad about it right now because I am done with all things garden. We put the garden, I guess that's one of the happenings that's been happening on the homestead. We put the garden to bed this weekend for winter. I'm so grateful David helped me because I don't know how I would have got it all done. I was actually only going to do whatever I could do myself in just an hour or two and say I was done. And he stayed out there with me the whole day and we got all of it done. And I got my garlic planted. So other than the rose hips, we haven't really had a really good frost here yet. We've had a couple little wimpy frosts, but nothing major. So, and rose hips are sweeter if you let them go through a frost. So I'm waiting, and I have a lot of rose hips to harvest this year. My rose bushes were very good to me this year. I filled whole jars full of rose petals. So I'm really thankful for how well my rose bushes did. But I've never felt this way before at the end of a season. I guess I'm burnt out is what it is. And just frustrated that some things, I don't know. You all seem to think my garden did great this year. I don't think it did. Now, we're always our toughest critics. But yeah, I kind of wish it did better. I have a lot canned because I branched out and reached out to my local farmers and uh, farmers markets, but I don't think it did that great this year. And I am definitely changing what I'm doing next year. I won't be talking about that because, like I said, I'm all done gardening talk right now. When I get my energy back for it in the new year, we'll talk about the different changes we're going to be doing. I think part of it is too is I know we're not staying here now, so it's kind of hard to want to do too much to a place that you're just going to be leaving. So that's kind of hard. I literally got this orange and finished about. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hello, Thomas. Yes, I see. Where did I see that? You said you were just popping in and have to get mixed. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I seen you were in the hospital on Facebook, and I didn't want to, be nosy or anything. So I hope you're okay, and I'm praying you get the heck out of there as soon as you can. So my canners are never completely put away. They're in an area with all my canning. But yeah, I can't wait till I'm not dragging them in and out or leaving them on the stove for days at a time. That's the other thing we did this week. We did a lot of rearranging, and a pantry tour video is coming out on Friday. I've been organizing it and just we did a lot of rearranging, and I'll talk about it in the video. We also got to our bedroom. That was a disaster area. And I said to my husband, I said to David, I said, it doesn't look like grown adults have this bedroom. We look like a bunch of college kids or something. So it got a lot of loving. Things got hung up. Closets got cleaned out, emptied. The thrift stores have been loving me because I have been filling a box almost every day of stuff. I'm over it. I am not hanging on. I still have some things. Books are still hard for me to get rid of, but I got rid of so many clothes and so many things, and the kids did too. And I'm over the clutter. So over the clutter. Yeah. Yes, and I do. I hope you're doing better too. And I hope you have an amazing day and you get the heck out of the hospital sooner than later. So good morning, Ashley. Thank you so much for coming in. So it's been busy around the homestead. We are preparing for winter. Grace and I'm just waiting. I ordered vacuum seal bags that you can put things in and then suck all the air out. We have several of them. They are great. I love them. They don't take up as much space because we pack away our summer clothes and things. And I use them for my cushions for my patios. But last year, when we opened the cushions, a mouse actually got into one of them last year and ruined one cushion, which is strange. And of course, you can't just buy the seat cushions. Oh no. So I'm hoping by getting new ones because I think those have just been used too much. So they're supposed to arrive today because, of course, where else did I get them from? Amazon. So Grace and I are going to pack up all the patio cushions today and get them stored away. And then we'll be putting the furniture away this weekend because we're going to move our hot tub back over under the gazebo because we don't have the time or the money, quite frankly, to build. We were going to build like a pergola over our hot tub for the winter, and we don't have time and like I said, in the funds right now to do that. We just went and bought all our materials to build the room in our garage that we're working on, that we've been working on. We got to get that done like sooner than later. So that's getting done. And yeah, I am so over doing all these renovations and things. So done. I hope the next place we find, I don't have to do anything, not even paint. Oh wow. Freeze dryer is definitely something on my wish list, but I don't think we probably won't get one until we move. I don't know if it's going to happen. There's other things right now that we need to prioritize. Oh, did I mention we had to get a windshield for my car this past week, and the Jeep still needs one too. We have to do the Jeep. So frustrated. The Jeep's windshield's less than a year old. I think I talked about this last week. And then my windshield got hit by somebody who did not take care of their trailer, the things on their trailer, which is very common around here. They don't tie down stuff. They don't check things. Things fly off trailers all the time here. in the back of trucks too. I'm getting a little sick of it. And I think that's part of my problem too, is I'm just burnt out from where we're living, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's been a lot the last couple of weeks, a lot going on that I don't necessarily always talk about, because I keep some things private, obviously, but it's been rough, and a lot of things happening in my extended family down home and things. It's been a lot. And then of course everything that's going on in the world, because I made the mistake and watched the news this morning. So it's a lot. I don't know if you're all feeling that too, but I can't remember a time when it felt so stinking heavy. And it seems like the whole world is crazy right now, and the whole world seems to be on strike. I just saw on the news there's another strike in Michigan at the casinos that started, I guess, this week. And it just seems like every time I turn around, somebody's on strike, either in Canada or the United States. It's crazy. I use those to ship in too, saves a lot. Oh, really? I didn't know that. You will have to look into that and see, because we can get a cheaper version of them at the dollar store, which would be good for like shipping things. So I will keep that in mind, because postage for me, I mean, it's crazy how much it costs to mail things. It's actually cheaper for me most times to mail things to the States than it is to mail things right here in Canada. Seriously, like insane. So, what else of it? I've been working on a lot of crochet projects. I still have to get that one ready for the donation I'm doing next month. And what else has been happening on the homestead? Just a lot of stuff. And I might be getting surgery in the new year, maybe early spring in the new year. And I'm looking at getting laser eye surgery. Our medical insurance is actually covering. They just changed over with new providers, the military did, and they've upped our coverage of how much they will cover for laser surgery, which is significant. It's going to cover a lot more than it used to. And I am wearing contacts today. I've been taking breaks. I've had glasses on, I think, for the last 3 or 4 days. I'm at the point where I've been wearing contacts so long in my life. I don't know if you've all remembered there back at the beginning of the year, I was having a lot of eye problems, and in the spring, turns out it's from contacts. And my eye doctor said that most people my age, by the time they get to my age, they can't wear contacts anymore, or at least not as often, because of what happens. And he says, you're the age where most people start getting laser surgery because of it. And it's something I've always wanted, but the cost was insane. So I found out that I have to keep bandages on my eyes for a week. And I'm like, how am I going to do anything without I'm going to go insane. Like, I won't be able to read. I won't be able to crochet. I'll probably sleep a lot, because if you're sitting there in the dark, you're going to fall asleep. So anyway, Dave and I were talking about that. So I've got to make some plans, I think, for the first time. I shouldn't say first time ever, but I'll be doing a significant amount of freezer meals and putting them in the freezers for meals and things to make it easier for all of us. Yeah, a week with bandages. If anybody's had it, in the comments, let me know what it was like, if there's anything I should know about. I'm hoping to get it done. We'll see. I need to find out in reality how much it is completely, and then what our portion will be, and then we'll see. If it's not too bad, then David's like, yes, go for it. And I'm like, I can't imagine waking up in the mornings, opening my eyes, and I'll be able to see the time on the dresser. I won't be scrambling around trying to grab my glasses or squinting like this, which doesn't help anyway. So I hate glasses. I hate them. And maybe it's because I didn't have to start wearing them until I was 12. I think it was 6th grade when I had to get them. And the doctor told me it would only be temporary. And yeah, it wasn't. So I've been wearing glasses a long time, and I'm just not a fan of them. They're not as bad as they used to be. I certainly don't mind them as much as I used to be, but I just love contacts. I find they make my life easier. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that, but that won't be for a while if we do. So anything else that I wanted to talk about? There was one other thing. don't forget the collaboration that I am co-hosting with Annette from our Urban Homestead. It starts November 1st. I got to get a video for that too, talking about it. Hashtag homemade, handmade Christmas, right, Annette? I keep mixing up handmade and homemade, but it's hashtag handmade, homemade Christmas. And that's where we're just trying to come up with, ideas of where maybe you make or come up with some creative ways to gift gifts this year instead of necessarily buying a gift. And that's going to go until December 20th. So that's coming up. I also am in part of a collaboration that Angie from Me and You Acres is hosting. Ashley from CNC Farm is part of that too. And Angela from the Inquisitive Farm Wife I think she said there's a list of 12 of us all together, but it's making budget meals for $5 worth of ingredients. And this week it's all breakfast. Next week it's all lunch. And then third week it's suppers and dinner, supper, dinner, whatever you call it from where you are. And I'm doing a dinner for, I gotta say, it was a little bit more challenging than I thought. But once I really sat down and started thinking it, I finally found something. I should say I finally thought of something. I'm like, I know what I can make that's in the $5 range. So yeah, it's really cool to see. You don't have to spend quite a bit to feed your family. And Ashley did amazing yesterday. She made breakfast, and if I remember correctly, it was it 37 cents a serving, Ashley? 37 or 57? I can't remember. Yeah, they're very expensive. They do have great sales, I will say that. And they have the contest every month, their harvest rate that I try to enter every month to win one. I haven't won one yet. So even my dehydrator. Oh yes, I've tried a couple of experiments this week. I did apple juice, which I made myself, infused cranberries, and I dehydrated them. It is not a fail, but it wasn't a success. I mean, they're still dehydrated cranberries, but one, I want them to go too long, so now they're not chewy. I wanted a chewy cranberry, not necessarily a hard cranberry. And they're not as sweet as I was hoping. So I think I need to infuse them in the apple juice longer and maybe add a touch of honey or maple syrup. So I'm going to try that again. I got to get some more cranberries because what did I do with, I experimented and made cranberry, apple, raspberry juice. I can't wait. That needs to sit at least 3 to 5 weeks for it to really get concentrated. And I actually have put it away over there. So I did that this week as an experiment. I didn't film it because I want to see if it's going to work. And then I'll let you know. And there was something else. I can't remember what the other thing I experimented with. It'll come to me in a minute. But I did want to I am going to do an update video on some of the things we've tried or made to see what they're like. Now that they've been sitting long enough, the regular cranberry juice I made back at the Every Bit Counts challenge, I added maple syrup, I think it was, to that. No, honey. I think it was honey. Oh, I can't remember now. I'll have to go look at the video, but that's been sitting for quite a while. So we're going to taste test that and see how that turned out. But I wanted to give you an update on the magnesium oil that I made. I think it's been a little over 2 weeks since that video went out. It might actually be closer to 3 weeks now. Actually, I think it is. I had mentioned in the video, one of the side effects that chemotherapy has left me with is constant chronic Charlie horses. And I mean constantly and chronically. It is not unheard of for me to go through 6, 7, 8 of them a night. And it's been going on for a significant amount of time, years. It'll be 9 years December that I've been in remission from my second battle with cancer. And it's been about 9 years that I've had these Charlie horses. And I've done everything and nothing's been working. So I made this magnesium oil about 3 weeks ago. Easiest, cheapest thing in the world to make. So please don't be buying it. They are charging a fortune for magnesium oil. And it is the cheapest, seriously, cheapest, easiest thing you've ever made. If you see my video where I made it, it is a cup of magnesium flakes and a cup of boiling water. That is it. Anyway, So I have been using it for almost 3 weeks, and I did not purposely use it for 2 nights because I wanted to see. It's been a miracle for me, friends. It has been, I'm going to get emotional, but other than the 2 nights I did not use it, I have not had a Charlie horse in my foot or in my legs. Other than those 2 nights I didn't use it, and I used I spaced it apart. Like I used it for about a week and didn't use it for 1 night, and I did get Charlie horse. Though I will say they weren't as bad. I shouldn't say that. I got one that was really bad, but that was the only one I had all night. And then I started using it again for another week. I went about 10 or 12 days, and I just didn't use some just recently. And I did get a Charlie horse in my foot. And then I started using it again. So it's been a miracle. If you are, I've been taking like magnesium by pill, and that wasn't working anymore for me. I don't even take it by pill anymore. And you don't need I spray my feet, rub it all in. And I have been wearing socks just because I find my feet were sticking to my sheet because of the magnesium oil on my feet, and it was driving me crazy. I'm not a big fan of sleeping with socks, but I'm not a fan of the Charlie horses a heck of a lot more. So all that to say is, yes, it definitely works. It's a miracle. I cannot say enough about it. If you are suffering with any kind of leg cramp or Charlie horses, this works. Absolutely works. So you can get magnesium flakes from the dollar store. You can get it in bulk from Amazon. I think you can even get it from our bulk barns here in Canada. I have to double check. Yeah, and it's lasted me quite a while. I mean, I got to fill I made it into a bigger mason jar, and I put it into a spray bottle. The spray bottle I need to fill soon, but still, I haven't even gone through the whole bottle yet. And other than those 2 nights, I've been using it faithfully. So yes, it works. Hello, Darren. I'm trying to dehydrate my coffee for instant coffee, but I can't get it to stay on the trays. Like, even if you use I have these silicone mats that have like an edge on them so things can't roll off. If you did that, would it work? Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And hello, Marty. Thanks for dropping in. I cannot say enough about it. Goodbye. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. So, yes, big thumbs up for magnesium oil. So much. I was actually emotional talking with David about it the other night because they're debilitating. I wasn't sleeping well because I'd get them. They were painful. They would last. I had one last so long. David was getting ready to bundle me up and take me to the ER last winter because it would not go away. It finally ended, but he was getting to the point where he's like, that's it. I'm taking you. Like, this is nuts. And it finally ended. Very, very, very. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I need more tea because that went right over my head. That went right over my head. I do want to try. It's funny because I do want to try making instant rice. Not that we pay a lot for it. We're lucky that the brand that Grace and Aiden like to eat, it's $1 for those little instant rice bags still at our dollar stores. But for how long, right? And Grace, being autistic, has a very certain diet that she eats. And so we always are picking it up. But from what my research has been saying is if you cook the rice and then you dehydrate it and then you put it in, vacuum seal bags or whatever, and you can just heat it up like you are the stuff you're buying. I would rather do that because at least then I know what's in the rice, and maybe I can even make some flavors with it. So that might be something I'm going to try over the winter. So I don't think I'll be packing my dehydrator away like I thought I would. Nope. Did not help. I would glut myself on water, and it just did not help at all. Nothing worked. I made instant rice in my dehydrator but okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm going to try it. Not that rice is all that, I mean, the price of it, even that's gone up. Like I said, that's why we're so shocked that it's still only $1 at our Dollaramas for their rice that they like. Like that's shocking. We just bought another 10 this past weekend for whenever we're in there, we try to grab anywhere between 5 and 10 packages to bring home and keep it going. Cause she eats it probably 5 days a week. If she doesn't eat it for lunch, she has it with her supper. So like, and she likes her routine. So what are all you been doing? Let me know down in the chat there. What have y'all been up to? Are you starting to winterize everything? Because it's coming. It's been cool here. I am trying to hold off on turning on my heat until the 1st of November. David laughs at me he's like, if you're cold, turn on the heat. But it's just Grace and I here all day. So we hang out in the living room where the fireplace is, or I'm in the kitchen with the oven or something going. So it's plenty warm in there. It's a little cool in here right now, but I have my sweater on and my tea, so I'm okay. But they said that I want to wait to November 1st, not just because I'm trying to like challenge myself, but I want to know when we started turning on the heat for the bill, if that makes sense. And it's easy to remember. Okay, November 1st, we started on the heat. So hopefully I can make it. I think we did last year. I think we made it to the 1st of November last year before I had to use it. So, and like I said, the fireplace keeps us really warm. So, oh, my mom is on. Hello, Mother. Thanks for joining, Mom. I use it to add to home canned soups. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm in Texas. We just got some chilly mornings right now, but the day are in the low 80s. I know I grew up in the States, but David's been to Texas with the military, but I'm just curious, like, do you guys actually get winters? Like, do you get cold and snow or anything, or is it pretty much stay warm year round? Winter, not enough time. I know there's just not, we get our half a pig this weekend. So I've got to get that into the freezers and stuff. And I ordered the fat too. So I need to make more lard. And yeah, there's just not enough hours in the day. David is he's still part-time this week and next week, but he's different. He's only got 1 day off, and then he's working 4 and 4, and he signed his contract for full-time again for another 3 months. So yay, that's a load off my mind. So he's right back full-time again, and very, very soon. And it's more than 2 days, Mom. It's Wednesday. She's not 20 until Sunday. So 4 days. Yeah. It's 22nd, Mom. Not the 20th. Oh, she wants a vanilla cake with chocolate frosting and a vanilla cake or a white cake. I can't remember now if it was white or vanilla. I'll have to. Vanilla, okay. And she's decided for supper this year, she wants like what we do Christmas Eve, like a cheese and cracker platter and a fruit and dip and things like that. So that makes supper easy for me on her birthday. So that's what we're going to do. So hello, Mary Lynn. Thank you for coming. It gets in the 15 to 20 for maybe a week at the most. Sometimes it snows, but okay. All right. It's just, whenever you watch like the Westerns or the movies or whatever, you always see them in, the men are in the, the suede jackets with the fur. It's gone out of my head what they call them. And they always look so bundled up. So I'm like, does Texas really get that cold? But I guess maybe for you, it would be cold if it goes. Maybe I'm thinking of Montana. I know they definitely get cold. But I'm just trying to think. What else we have to do for winterizing? We have a heated dog bowl that we use for our chickens. But now that we have more chickens again, we're thinking it might not be big enough. So we're looking into getting one of those chicken waterers. It looks like the water and you just plug it in. but I'm not hearing great things about it. I am not hearing good things about that. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. We've tried different things. We had the thing that you put down into one of the bowls and it would keep it, it would keep it on. It was on all the time, so the water never got frozen. But we found it got rusted over time, even though it's made to do that. So we stopped using that, and then we got the heated dog bowl, which has worked great because it only kicks on when it falls a certain temperature just to keep it from getting frozen. Again, I guess we could get 2 of them, but then that's 2 we have to plug in. so yeah, we're just trying to decide what we're going to do for their water. We did buy a big, huge feeder for them the last couple weeks ago that holds like 50 pounds of feed, and it keeps it from getting wet, everything. So we don't have to keep moving it in and out of the coop to protect it. That works great. And I find they're not wasting as much because they have to put their heads into the hole to eat. So that was a good investment. So I'm glad we finally got one of them. But yeah, we have to figure. I don't know what we're going to do if we're going to get. Yeah. But it won't be long, and we're going to definitely have to put it in. We're going to have to put it out soon because it's getting pretty cold at night. I started supplementing them with some mealworms and sunflower seeds because it has been getting pretty cool at night for them. So we have 16 trees. North Texas does get regular snow and cold. Okay. All right. When you was 1, we lived in El Paso, and Christmas morning we had snow and it melted by 11. Hello, Jean. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Open Hand Farm. Thank you for joining. Cool. Santa Claus melon. I don't think I've ever had. I know I've never had one. I'm trying to think of what they even look like at this point in my brain. I've heard of them. I've just never had one. I ended up getting 4 crookneck squashes off my plants this year, first year growing them. So I it's pretty good. I've never had them before. So we're going to see if we even like them, whether I'll plant any next year. The funny thing is the stinking plant put out a whole bunch of blossoms about a month ago. And I'm like, wow, it is way, way too late for you to be. And the tomatoes were blossoming again. That big bout of heat we had, I think, the first week of October or so, really, really screwed up the garden. So I live in Mississippi. Okay. Yes. Hurricane season. You have what, another month supposedly of hurricane season? My mom lives in Florida, so she hates the hurricane season. So I'm from Angela. Okay. She was talking to Angie. Yeah. Well, hi. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Lynn, remind me to get you some Montreal melon seeds. They look like cantaloupe, but taste like honeydew. They grow in our climate. Oh, okay. Thank you. That will be cool. I have to give the chickens some pumpkin too, because I did feed them all. I've been collecting a lot of seeds this last week too. I collected all my seeds from my nasturtiums. I have way more than I'm ever going to need, but that's okay because I can share my seeds now. And then I gave all the plants and everything to the chickens because it's supposed to be a natural dewormer for them. So I did that. I saved a bunch of zinnias, which are still like looking beautiful out there at almost the end of October. I saved a bunch of their seeds. I saved a ton of seeds from my morning glories, even though that ended up being a big mistake where I planted them. I am still going to plant some, but I have a whole different section I'm planting them in next year because they overtook everything. Surprisingly, we had a whole nother basket of one more harvest when we went out to put the garden to bed last weekend. I was shocked. There was some tomatoes. There was a couple peppers. I gave them to the chickens. There was 2 more squashes that were fairly big enough. I was able to pick them. There was a few herbs. What else was there? I'm trying to think. Oh, chamomile. The chamomile. It's still out there. I'm done. I am not picking anymore. I'm hoping it's going to reseed itself and come back next year. I had another 6 more of my gem corn. that was perfectly fine to, let me grab one. Now, it's not the biggest corn, but it's the prettiest corn you're going to see. Isn't that pretty? So I know what I did wrong with it. I didn't do as well. So I am drying it all out. I'm saving the seeds, and I won't need all of them. Again, they'll be able to share. But I'm going to grow more next year, and I know where I'm going to grow it too, in a different spot. And I need to feed it more. Corn's a huge feeder, and I did not give it enough fertilizer. So yeah, so we had like another 6 of these that were ready to harvest. I was shocked. I was really surprised. I came in with a whole nother basket of stuff. So that was pretty surprising. I was really surprised. So yep, till November. Hello, Mandy. Tastes like a very sweet honeydew. Okay. I'm just going to put this back. So yeah, that kind of surprised me that we still had as much to harvest as we did. I was surprised. My carrots, I've decided I'm going to leave them, I think, till the spring. They're not really big at all. And they're actually doing amazing. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do an experiment. I have plenty of carrots. I have a whole shelf and a half of carrots canned for the winter. So I think we're going to be okay. And if I see a good deal on some local carrots again in the stores, I will probably can them. So I'm going to leave them and see what we do with it, see how they do overwintering, and pick them in the spring. So we're going to try it. What do you do with the gem corn? Well, you can eat it like regular corn. I was going to use it as popcorn. We were going to dry it out and save it for popcorn. So that's this year. I'm just letting them all go to seed. We'll see. I might save some for popcorn. That's primarily what I was going to use it for. And it was so pretty. I just thought it was prettier than regular corn. So I thought I'd try it. I'd never heard of it till last year. I let my carrots go all winter. They turned out great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Remy, my friend Rem from Rem's Family Farm, he let his go. I think he has a bunch that he does let go every year and picks them in the spring. So, and honestly, because mine are in raised beds, I could probably pick some even in like December and January, because the raised beds don't get quite as frozen as the ground. But we'll see. We will see. Mandy, I sent an alarm when it went off. I put the dog out, forgot it was for Lynn. My son gave me a pup a couple of Saturdays ago and thought it was for him. He came potty trained but had to open door. Oh, that's nice, Jean. What kind of puppy did you get? It is pretty. It's very pretty corn. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get better about at least putting up my notices like 24 hours ahead of the live. Sometimes I'm literally scrambling the morning of, so I'm trying to remember to do it. I find if I do it too early, people think it's that day, so I just try and do the day before. Just try to get it all set up, make my thumbnail, schedule the live, and all that good stuff. So that's why you all might have thought it was yesterday. But yeah, so other than that, busy. The rest of the week, I'm working my way through. I've already gone through 1.5 bushels of apples. And that's not counting all the ones that have been eating, fresh eating. So I have not quite, I'd say, 1/2 bushel left of apples to get through, and I got to get through them. They're the galas, and they don't last as long as the Cortlands do. Like it's really frustrating because they're rotting, so I got to get my button gear and do that. So we're going to be doing that. And there was something else I was going to can. Oh, my tomatoes. I got to get them out of the freezer. All the bags of tomatoes I've been saving all summer, and I got to do something with that. I just haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So it is a mutt puppy. Mother is a herding dog and 5 other breeds. Oh, cute. Luckily, I'm up this early. I must be 2 hours earlier than you. Are you Central Time? if you're central, you're in Arizona, if I remember correctly. If I did remember, I deserve like a huge medal because I have the worst memory in the world. I think it, again, that's left over from chemo. It's actually called chemo brain, and it's forever. I'm canning more potatoes. They're on sale right now. I don't know if y'all can see, those are all potatoes on this shelf here. And I think I'm done canning them. Though I did want to try dry canning, but I bought a couple of special bags, one for potatoes, one for onions, and they just came last night. And they've got a special lining and then a zipper in the bottom where you can unzip it and reach in and just get what you need. They're supposed to, but my research says they're supposed to be great at keeping them from sprouting and going bad and stuff. So I'm going to transfer the rest of my potatoes for fresh eating into one of them and get that great big bag that's been in my kitchen for a month now out of the way. Like it's all pushed down into what's left, but out of the 50 pounds, there's probably 10 pounds left, and this bag supposedly will hold 10 pounds, so we're going to see. So I know a lot of people find that the freeze-dried fruit, they say it's like candy. I buy freeze-dried fruit. Like we do have a company we buy it from, the Rotten Fruit Box it's called, and it's good. I like it. I think it's mountain time. Okay. What tomato products are you low on? Not a lot, because I canned so much last year that were pretty good. And I know this is terrible, but I buy diced tomatoes and diced or canned tomato paste because I like it better. I find it's easier. Tomato paste, I find, takes forever to make at home. To me, it takes forever. So we buy the organic at Costco by the case. It's a good deal. But I really like the tomato soup that I canned for Every Bit Counts challenge, and I'm down to 2 jars of that. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a lot of tomato soup and can it because I like having that for lunch with a grilled cheese sandwich in the winter. So I think I'm going to do that with it and maybe make some more posada sauce. So David liked that the other night, that supper we had. I canned some yesterday and all the water came out, or just because I definitely, even though I did the right headspace and I kept mine in there like forever, I did not take them out. I still had some siphoning, and I just think it's because of all the starch and things. I think it's just going to happen. Maybe I'm thinking I might try a few jars just to see. Because a lot of people, and hello, thank you for joining. A lot of people are saying the taste is amazing when you do the dry canning potatoes. So I'm going to try that. There was some in the bottom. Okay. Because I do know, no matter what I do, that and carrots, and sweet potatoes, I always seem to have a little bit of siphoning when I can those things, no matter, making sure the headspace is right, making sure I keep them in the canner long enough for it to cool down and it's not going to go to drastic temperatures. I do all that and I still get siphoning on those 3 things. And I'm sure it's because of the sugars and the carrots and the sweet potatoes and the regular potatoes, the starch. I think it has something to do with that. I think Tanya told me, my friend Tanya from Nightfall Homestead, I think she said every time she does sweet potatoes, there was siphoning every time. So it's just one of those weird things. Almost time to put away my pug mug and get out my Christmas ones. So I actually, you can tell that you're supposed to be slowing down because all the things you were craving in the spring and summer and being outside and being in the garden and, eating all these fresh things, you can feel the natural rhythms, right, of how things are starting. So now you're craving different things to eat. You're craving different things to, curl up with and be comfy and stuff. And I guess I'm a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little crotchety about my garden because it wasn't the plan, after having it all built and everything was wonderful. And the plan, like I had these plans of being out there in the early mornings and having my tea and watching things grow. And I never did it once this year because the bugs were horrendous this year. Absolutely horrendous. Like we had one of the worst mosquito years they were saying in like 20 years here. They were horrific. And then the heat, it was so stinking hot here. Like who can be outside weeding when it's 103 degrees Fahrenheit? I know I can't be. And if you went out in the morning, the bugs were so bad. Like before it got too hot, the bugs were so bad. So yeah, I was a little bit soured on my garden this year because I felt like I just did not get to enjoy it like I had hoped. Again, I think I just have maybe homesteading burnout a bit, and knowing we're not staying here, it's really hard to. So I got to work on my mindset over the winter is what I got to do. So you see, it was just, I think I took them out when they were too hot. Yeah, that's one that I leave. I let them stay in there until it has cooled down. So, because the siphoning is so bad. So, oh, there you go. I thought, am I wrong? Didn't my gardener have them too? I can't remember because I know I've gotten a few of the melon seeds from him. So not staying. Are you? No, my husband is not full-time military anymore. He's in the reserve, which I mean, I guess technically you could still get posted with the reserve if you wanted. But we always knew we'd always planned on never staying here in Ontario. That was never going to be our plan. We always planned on going back down east. And then I got sick with cancer the first time, and we made our bucket list and said we're not waiting anymore. We want a home. We want to start having bigger gardens and chickens and blah 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 blah. I've said all this before. So we said the heck with it, and we bought our home and said that's it. But I always, in the back of my head, I always heard no, and I would just like, it's crazy. We're staying here. We bought a house. We're never moving again. And then I would always hear that. So Dave and I had huge long talk at the beginning of the year this year and just realized that this is not where we want to stay. Like this is not our forever homestead. This is not where we want to stay. Our hearts are in the Maritimes down east. We miss the ocean. We just miss the people, our families. We still have a lot of family down east. We want, we're not happy here at the end of the day. I mean, we're happy because we're together and we have a beautiful home, and I don't want to sound ungrateful, but it's not where our hearts are, and we're just not happy here. So we've made the decision that we are going to, we have two plans. We have a 2-year plan and a 5-year plan. God willing, if all the stars align and everything, it'll be a 2-year plan. We're really, really hoping. It's going to be a little less than 2 years now, actually. We're really hoping it can be a 2-year plan. A few things have to work out for us first. So we're hoping it can be a 2-year plan. But yeah, so it's hard to want to do things knowing you might not even be here to see it, right? So that's part of it. It's also a load off our minds because a lot of things we were originally going to be working on, we don't have to do now. We were going to clear like a lot of the land way down and back, and we're not going to now. And we just have a few we're in the last final stretches of some renos. Some things we're not doing anymore now because they were strictly for our benefit. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that if we are not going to stay here. So we're in the last little bits of the things that need to get done in order to put the house up for sale. And then praise the Lord, we'll be done with the renos because I am so done with them. And everything has cost 5 times more than it should be for some of these renos. So yeah. So that's it. That's the answer to your question. Yeah, I mean, there's some things like while we're here, we want to, enjoy it and have it. But at the same time, it's bittersweet. Like, am I ever going to see apples from those trees we planted 3 years ago? I thought we'd see some this year, but we didn't because of the dwarf variety. And you can see them as early as 3 years. So I really was hoping because they did have blossoms on them this year. So maybe next year. So I'd like to get apples off them at least a couple of times. And I do have to tell you, we have found some fantastic properties with a nice home in down there, and it hurts our hearts a bit that we just can't. But I have to have faith that they're just the right place is going to come. We've even talked about buying property and building one of those modular homes on it. We've even talked about that. What we used to call double wide trailers, now they're modular homes or whatever. We're even leaving that open too. It just means that we might have to buy like a camper to live in on the property while the house was being built. So I don't know if we could all, that'd be pretty close quarters for a few months. So we can't make any plans until we're waiting on one more thing to get finalized before we find out if something we're going to be looking at or whatever. And luckily, I mean, it's not a huge drive, but if David and I can take some weekends and drive down and see what there is available and stuff, because I'm not the type to buy just from pictures. I have to go see the place because pictures can be deceiving, which we found when we were looking to buy this house. You would think, you see the pictures and you go and you're like, this is not the same place at all. So yes, back to the Maritimes. Yeah. That's where our hearts are. That's where we long to be, and just even slower pace, like definitely a slower pace of life. We're praying that David will be able to be retired 100% by then. And that's one of the things we're waiting for it to line up to find out about. And he wants to have horse again. He grew up with horses, and he grew up with horses, and he said he just remembers the feeling he got when he would go out riding. And he wants to have that again. And if we have enough property, like he said, we won't even have to leave the property. He can just go out on the horse around our property. So he's really like, that is something that he's feeling and wanting. So I support it 100%. Because if he gets a horse, I'm getting a donkey. So goodbye, Marnie. Thank you for coming in. I'm not going to be here much longer either. I'm trying to stay on for the hour. So I got 7 more minutes of jibber jabbering with you. So I always feel like when it's just me, I must be boring. So I'm going to have to start lining up some guests to come on. It's harder in the mornings, but it's not impossible. So I am going to see if I can get some guests lined up to come on with me. So we have a little bit more back and forth and stuff. But I do have a question and answer video I need to film too, because I did put out there any questions anybody had. And I did get some because I put it on Instagram, a YouTube post, and my Facebook. I put them on all of them, and you all did have some questions, and I wrote them all down. So I do have that video still to film. Again, there's just not enough hours in the day. It seems like I'd have time to do all this, and then already it's 10:30, and Monday was a complete gong show. And then yesterday, I needed to get, when we redid everything, I have it all set up. My Cricut set up now. My heat press is set up now. My sublimation printer I got like a month ago, they're all set up now. It took me from 9:30 yesterday morning until after 2. It was after 2 because Aiden was home from school, so it was almost 3 to get the stinking printer set up and working. I have never seen such a difficult brand of printer to get set up. And then figuring out the sublimation and practicing and stuff. And oh my goodness. So that I managed to get a few things done before I started all that. So I was able to get a little laundry done. I was able to get my oven cleaning. I have a self-cleaning oven, so I did the top of that. But that was about it. Like, I was so frustrated that I spent all day on that. So today I am in the kitchen. I'm going to do some things in the kitchen and get this new recipe I'm trying with the apples. I got a whole bunch of apples washed up out there waiting for me. Haul out my canner. I got a EcoTank Epson 2400 that I converted to a sublimation printer. So I researched like I said, I'm the research queen, y'all. So the main thing was making sure I had sublimation ink in it, and which I got. I never put the regular ink that came with it. It's actually sitting aside still in the bag. So It just, I don't know why it was so difficult. It kept saying it couldn't find my internet connection. It was insane, but I finally got it to work. And then I had to get it hooked up to my laptop because I wanted it on the app on my phone and my laptop. So, oh yeah. Anyway, it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Like, I'm not a total idiot when it comes to techie stuff. Like, I'm not an expert, but I'm not. I can hold my own. This was nuts. This was absolutely crazy. So I'm glad that I got it all done. So hopefully I'll be working on some projects with that later in the fall into the winter. And I'm ready to start decorating for Christmas. I'm holding off until after Halloween. But I purchased the Epson 77010 and converted it, and I love it, and I've never had an issue, knock on wood. Great. I actually haven't heard of that one. I don't know if I saw that one at Staples or not. Yeah, from what I was able to basically, after researching it all, almost all of them, the eco tanks can be a sublimation printer at the end of the day for the most part. Like, you just need the ink is more important, really. I mean, there are some other things that are a factor, but for the most part, most of them you can convert. So that's what I did. I mean, I made a few Halloween and fall decorations. Like I said, I've said this before, I'm not a huge Halloween fan. That being said, there are Halloween decorations around, but they're cute decorations. That's what I like to use. But I'm done. I'm not even making any more Halloween crafts, nothing. I'm done. I am so ready to start making the few Christmas crafts I want to make. I have two really, I'm excited to try these two nativity crafts that I love nativities. I collect them. And there's two that I want to try. One's insanely simple. The other one's not difficult, but it requires David doing a few things for me in order for me to make it. And again, that is why one of the things I told him is I actually would like a few power tools of my own so I can start using them on my own. So I'm not having to wait for him all the time. And that's not a dig against him. He's busy and, there's just so much going on and we don't always have time on the weekends for him to cut my wood projects that I need. So, he actually had me look at a few tools on Monday at Rona, which used to be Lowe's. And there was a couple of like miter saws that were very light because that was my main feeling. I'm worried they're going to be too heavy. But they had a couple on sale that were really light. So I think I might be seeing a power tool or two under the tree for me for Christmas this year. Because I'm thinking, why would you be asking me so much about them? So I think that's what we're looking at. I think that's what's going to be under there. So I loved shop class when I was in school. It's funny thing how life turns. When I was younger, I hated home ec. And my home ec teacher wasn't too fond of me because I'd always say, can't we just go buy this? Funny how things change, but I loved shop class. I hated the math part and trying to figure out the drawings. I was always the last person in the class, still erasing. My drawings looked like awful by the time I was done. But I loved building. My dad actually still has a set of shelves I made for his shed. And well, I guess it's not their property anymore, but he literally still had them. And that was like 7th grade that I made those. But yeah, I don't want to be waiting for him anymore. And I don't know, we'll have to figure it out because there's a lot of math with some of these things. And that's not my strong suit. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have a very difficult time with it. So I'll have to work that out. But, I'm like, Tanya from Nightfall Homestead, she uses power tools like a boss. Like, she's out there and got them all. So I'm hoping to get some tips from her. And I watch a lot of ladies on YouTube, my craft shows I love to watch. They're all using power tools. So I'm like, yeah, okay, Lynn, it's time to try this again. So, because there's so many things I want to make, and maybe I can sell them to help with some income if they turn out right. So, okay, friends, that is an hour. Woo! I feel like I never stopped talking, which is not unheard of for me. So thank you all so much. I noticed we've been losing people the last 10 minutes because usually everybody knows about the hour. Time is about all anyone has time for. So I am going to go and get my apples peeled up and get working on that project. And I think I'm going to make some applesauce too, just because it's one of the easiest things. I can put it in the crock pot and let it go all day. So I'm going to get to that, and I'm not going to peel them this time. We're going to see how that works. So I hope you all have a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be celebrating Sunday, our Gracie girls, big 2-0, big 20, and eating cake, which everyone else will be loving. And yeah, you all take care. God bless. And we will see you next Wednesday, and new video coming out Friday. Take care, everybody.